talk about Malik Beasley. So apparently, you know, they are saying that his fate is in the DOJ hands, Departments of Justice. They rung up 31 people in this arrest, and obviously they made the faces of the case, Damon Jones, Chauncey Billups, and he ain't even got nothing to do with the illegal NBA gambling. And then they made also Terry Rozier, which we pretty much, we're not surprised after seeing that video. But, you know, Malik Beasley was expected to be in this case. They said he willingly handed his phone over, and they haven't tied him to this case. So they're looking to tie him to this case. Okay? They're looking to tie him to this case. But right now, it's up to the DOJ. And the DOJ can just be like, you know what? We're going to tie you to this case and hold it up and hope maybe you will confess or hope something stick. But somebody's obviously snitching. Anytime you have an operation of 31 people, and it could be more. Y'all about they put these guys as the faces. You might have some black people say, oh, because they black. You got some people say, well, they the biggest names in the case. And apparently it's fake news that Scott Foster, the referee, was arrested. That's fake news, okay? But check out Detroit Pistons Talk playlist and all the whole nine. But I'm gonna tell you a person that may be bigger than everybody else. It might be the guy that's actually fucking snitching. So he's having some type of, you know, Jane Doe or John Doe immunity right now. But if they go to court and they don't settle and they go to a trial, he's going to have to take the stand. So the biggest name could be a snitch. So they're trying to tie Malik Beasley to this stuff. And, you know, Terry Rozier is making $26 million this year. He's made $160+ million in his NBA career doing this. And most people will probably be like, oh, it's Javonte Porter, Michael Porter's brother who ain't making that much money. Or a guy like Malik Beasley that having money problems. Everything ain't always what it seems. Let me say that first and foremost. Everything ain't always what it seems. Greed. You know, just because you making a lot of money, these guys be in debt with the mob. You know, they owe people money. They got these gambling habits and all this shit. So instead of paying the mob the money back, the mob say, just throw the game. That way, if I'm in a hole with $200K or $500K, hey, I just give them that money, and then they be like, okay, you paid your debt off. You want to keep going? And it becomes an addiction. Okay, I can make an extra 200, 300, 500 on the side. Everybody, you know, greed is crazy, bro. Greed is why, you know, you hear Amazon could be laying off 600,000 people in the near future. Greed is why you see them laying off people and they giving themselves raises. That Luigi dude that popped the healthcare, greed. And one thing that they're finding out in the world is that religion and laws are no longer controlling people. And when religion don't control people no more and laws don't control people no more, you're going to see the gap close between people who have it and who don't have it. And I'm not talking about the financial gap. I mean the gap of crime. You're going to start seeing more cases like Luigi. You're going to start seeing more cases where wealthy people and politicians start to get touched. That's just what it is. You're going to start seeing more cases of that. You know, that's just what it is. You're going to start seeing more cases about that. But with Malik Beasley, they're just going to continue to hold his feet to the fire. Hopefully that he gives it up, or somebody gives him up, and then they're gonna hold his career up. And it is what it is. It's sad. It's sad. They're gonna hold his career up, you know. But it's obvious that, you know, they waited on Terry Rozier and they closed it. They closed it. They closed it. They closed it on Terry Rozier. Eventually they got him. So for Malik Beasley, you know, you hope that he get through it. You hope that he innocent first and foremost, and he get through it. And they got that roster spot, from my understanding, still open. So they believe in the character of the guy. And the guy ain't been nothing but a philanthropist since he got to Detroit. He done things outside of the NBA program. That's why I fuck with him. You know, when you move to a new area, the first thing you should do, and this is what women don't do. So if there's any girls that listen to me, and I know it's probably hard for y'all to understand this, but the first thing you do is you get to know your neighbors. And another thing you do is the neighborhood that you live in, you pay for your neighbors. Don't forget that. You pay for your neighbors. Remember that no matter if you build a fence, a wall around your house, your neighbors still control your property value. Your neighbors still control, you know, your feelings, or your house get broken into, whatever. They control a lot of that. But get to know your neighbors. You know, that's why when you have block clubs and community meetings and all that, y'all should have those. You know, y'all should build that wall in y'all community. But you get to know your community. He came in and got to know the community. I love that. You know, he rocked with us. So I've been, you know, hoping, praying for him, hoping that he pulled through this, hoping that he innocent, because he seemed to be a good dude, bro. You know, you come in, you do all these things, give stuff away, make yourself one with the people. That's what I liked about Charlie Gardner Johnson. That's why people love J-Mo. You hear people talk about, well, they paid J-Mo all this money. The contract ain't even kicked in yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you know, hopefully they'll figure it out, but it's you know, the locker room, good locker room guys that tap in and plug into the community. But right now they saying his fate is in the DOJ. And of course they can end it right now and be like, okay, you good, we cleared you. The NBA can clear him right now. But they gotta be sure. They gotta be sure. I gotta be sure. So, no, for him, you know, it's got to be patient, stay in shape, you know, trust the process. But somebody's snitching, for sure. Somebody's snitching. So if he got anything to do with it, his name is been mentioned or will be mentioned soon. You know. So for the most part, we'll see. You know, Terry Rozier was cleared, then he wasn't cleared. But you would think like they'll put their resources into more and more important things, because it ain't gonna amount to nothing. It ain't gonna amount to us getting our money back if you bet and lost. You know what I'm saying? What does this show? We all know the NBA, you know, that's one of the most rigged games out there. You know, we know it. They control the refs and all that shit. Look how the game is rigged for them to score more points, and you can't play defense. That's rigged. If the game ain't played how it's supposed to play and it's fixed for one side or it's leaning one side, it's a rigged game. But hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Check out the Detroit Pistons Talk playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, Twitch, the whole nine. I appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.